What if I told you that you've been measuring your progress all wrong your entire life? Or how about if you were to become a better procrastinator? Yes, I said procrastinator, that it might make you more productive. By the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 2 books and some key highlights that are going to make you think differently. I'm Kelly Lundberg, and I'm passionate about books. I'm passionate about personal development. I've run a business for 20 years. I'm in personal branding, so I love learning. The first book that I ever changed what I did was The Magic of Thinking Big. I absolutely love this. I even talk about it in my own book, how much this one changed my life. But here's the thing about impactful books. You don't always need to read the entire book to have a key takeaway or to implement something. Sometimes you can read just a part of it and they really help you. Or you can watch a video and hear the key highlights. And that is what I'm going to do in this video. First book I want to share with you, I listened to this on Audible, and it is The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. Now, I've read a number of Dan's books. I'm going to go into 10x is easier than 2x in another video because this also completely changed my perspective. But The Gap and the Gain really hit me, and here's why. So what does it mean? Let me break it down. The gap is where you measure yourself against where you think you should be. So where you think you should be or against this ideal version of you. And I think that was something I was very guilty of. It's that feeling of I should be much further along now, or I'm not where I thought I would be at this point in my life or at this age. The gain is where you measure yourself against where you started, and it's looking back at your progress and actually acknowledging how far you've come. And I would like to describe myself as someone who's quite positive, but I didn't realize that I quite often put myself in the gap and not the gain. I would always think, oh, I should have more subscribers on my YouTube page, or I could have more clients, rather than going, hey, I started on 0 and this is where I am now, or this is what I've grown. Rather than focusing on the negative, it's not fake positive, but it's actually looking at the clear results of the things that you've done. And once I started consciously measuring backwards and looking at the gains rather than the gaps, everything changed. So my motivation increased, my confidence grew even more, and I just started achieving more things because I wasn't beating myself up all the time. So book 2 recently that has changed my outlook on things is 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. Now, I first discovered Oliver actually quite recently. I was going through the BBC Maestro course, and he had a section on productivity. Now, I love anything to do with productivity. How can I get more done in my day? That's kind of how I look at it. I love a checklist, crossing it off. There's something that happens with that is you never feel like you actually get to the bottom of your list. And this book actually had quite a few mic drop moments, and a couple that he said. Let's start with the first one that he said. Oliver argues that you need to become a better procrastinator. And I was a bit taken back. I was like, procrastinator? No, not me, not me. I'm an action taker. But here's the thing. You're always procrastinating something. This is what Oliver shares. Every time you choose to do one thing, then you're procrastinating everything else that you could be doing. So the question is whether you're procrastinating the right things to do. And that I was like, okay. So that was one key takeaway that has really made me think, where and how do I look at doing things and doing the right things? But the other aha mic drop moment for me was the menu approach. So one concept that he talks about is our never-ending to-do list. And I just mentioned that there, that I love a to-do list and crossing it over, but I never seem to get to the bottom of it. But not just that, whether it's our reading list, to-do lists, watch lists, he said that we should look at treating them like a menu. So he said, think about it. When you go into a restaurant, you don't feel bad about not ordering everything off the menu. You choose actually what you want to eat or what appeals to you right then and now. And then you enjoy it and you leave satisfied. And he said that you should adopt that approach when it comes to your to-do list. So got a list of books next to the side of my bed. I've got YouTube videos in an app in my phone that I'm like, I'm going to come back and watch that one day. And the approach of the menu was put them all down in the menu, and instead of thinking you've got to go through them all, just look at it and go, which one do I want to watch or read tonight? And remember, you don't always need to read every single page. It can be a couple of pages for you to get some inspiration. So the book is called 4,000 Weeks, and the reason it's called 4,000 Weeks is because he says on average, we look at the human lifespan, and instead of looking at it depressingly, Oliver shows how accepting our limitations is actually quite liberating. And I've talked about this a lot. My TEDx talk was around the concept of time. Life in Half a Second, that was another book that really impacted me as well. And when you truly accept that you can't do everything, but you just become so much more intentional about what you choose to do. So how can you implement these practical takeaways? Here's a few thoughts. So from the gap in the gain, start each week by writing down 3 things that you've accomplished. So no matter how small, I started doing this and I was like, wow, I'm doing great, rather than beating myself up. When you catch yourself thinking, I should be doing more, think and ask yourself, how far have I actually come? And celebrate progress. I've been a big one for all about celebrate wins, but celebrate the progress too. And then for 4,000 weeks, treat your to-do list like a menu and not a mandate. Ask yourself, what am I choosing to procrastinate on? And are these the right things? And embrace the fact that you can't do everything. And honestly, this permission to be selective has been an absolute game changer. So these books just haven't given me information. They've shared my entire perspective. The Gap in the Gain really taught me how to measure progress, not always success, differently. And 4,000 Weeks taught me to think about my time and my choices. And honestly, I feel like such a weight lifted off my shoulders. So remember, you don't need to read every single page of a book to get value. Sometimes the most powerful insights can come in a video like this, and you might just go and action something. And it's just 1 or 2 takeaways that you need to go and impact. I'd love to know what books impacted you in your life. I did a video a few years back on the 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma. It's been well watched, so I can do more of these, but share me which book you want me to do a review on. I'd love to talk about it. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It was great to see you. Bye for now.